Welcome back to Nortman Reviews, everyone, and happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, happy birthday, America. One of those three, right? So here we go with Batman Long Halloween. I forget sometimes that some of these holidays are kind of grouped close together. I almost forgot about this one. So tomorrow, as I'm recording this, is 4th of July, so as you're watching this is 4th of July. Yeah, time travel. Alright, here we go. Batman Long Halloween. As always, quick recap. Batman, early days in his career, him, Harvey Dent, JimGordon, they are taking on the Falcone, the mob gang, and the Maronis. They're having a mob war. They're trying to stop them, bring them to justice. In the middle of that, there's a holiday killer who is killing people on a different holiday, starting in Halloween, and it's going through each Halloween. It's a 13-issue series. That's why it's called The Long Halloween. Starts on Halloween, ends on Halloween. We are up to, let's see, Chapter 10, Independence Day. And this starts off, right off the bat. Usually, a holiday killing happens midway or even sometimes at the end of the book, and it goes from this kind of this dull colors to like black and white. That's when you know the holiday killer's shown up, right? There's one of Riddler, there's some other stuff. This one starts with the killing. So it always has the same format of 6 panels. In the Gotham City coroner, this old man, and then out of the haze or the fog comes the silhouette of the holiday killer, always in a big trench coat, big hat. That way, like, you don't know, is this a man or a woman? Batman even kind of talked about that with the Calendar Man somewhere down here, that like it could be a woman, like they thought it might be a Catwoman at some point. Did I? Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. So, we don't know. Male, female, doesn't know. But this guy seems to know what's going on. They shoot, has the same weapon with the serial number always filed off, and there's a baby pacifier they put over the end of this small caliber 22 gun handgun pistol. It's supposed to be lightweight, easy for a woman. Bottle, like a baby bottle nipple, suppresses the shot, I guess. And the guy falls off a pier or something, looks like, into the water. I don't have the single issues of this. This is all one trade paperback, so it's getting kind of thick, and I have to kind of push down, so apologies. And then this beautiful double-page spread of the scenery of Gotham City in the distance, under a bridge, on a pier, fireworks in the background. You see the Gotham City coroner's vehicle down here. And if you get really close, you can see that there's some items left behind, which the holiday killer always leaves. This perspective, like Tim Sale, artist, right? Jeph Loeb writer, Tim Sale artist. Tim Sale does some amazing stuff with very little. He has a very unique style. I love it. I've talked to death about it. It's kind of weird, this perspective of Gotham City. Like, so there's this bridge, and it's kind of curving back, and it looks, you know, it's like, this is all great and awesome. I love this perspective, how it's going down here. Then it goes off into the distance there, but then where, like, it seems like it would go more up this way to the city. Like, this just seems like if a car was on this, it would be teeny tiny up here, right? And then if it were even back here further, it'd be even tinier compared to these fucking humongous buildings. It's a cool image. It's just, the scale looks a little weird to me. It looks off. Am I just imagining that? So it's 4th of July, and no thought balloons, no text explaining anything, just Batman's inner monologue, kind of explaining things to the reader. And here he is with Selina Kyle. And, you know, he's talking about how this is his father's house, even though he's inherited it, lived in it for years. He still thinks it was his father's house. Bruce, he's trying to be Batman, but he's trying to, he's a man. He wants some affection. He wants some love. And since, Selena Kyle's around and he's, heterosexual male, they're going to get it on. She is like way into him, but he's always brooding because he's Batman. She doesn't know that. I don't think he knows she's Catwoman. But she kind of is asking, there's this conversation of like, why does he stay in Gotham? And he kind of vaguely says, I did leave for a while, but I was drawn back, made a promise to my parents. Yeah, she's like, but everything after that's been going on, he was brainwashed by Poison Ivy, he was manipulated by Scarecrow, he was arrested and put on trial for briefly by Harvey Dent. She's like, why wouldn't you, what would it take to let go? And it's kind of, I think, this theme, like, with each holiday, they kind of try and throw in a theme with it, and Independence Day, they kind of talk about, like, what would it take to let you go, basically to have your independence, to be free. But he doesn't quite give her an answer. I do love the way he does Selena's hair. I like how he draws her as Selena Kyle. I'm not a big fan of the way he draws Catwoman. I'll explain why. I think it's just the design choice of her costume. But I love her hair. No highlights in it. No anything. It's just a shape of black hair. I really like that. But she's like, there are things we could do together, places we could go. And he kind of embraces her for a bit, which is kind of unlike Batman. But, as they're kissing, as always, bat signal pops up in the background, and like, he's not able to be free to do what he wants. He's always kind of shackled by his responsibilities that he kind of imposes on himself, for sure. But so the last episode of YouTube, issue of this, not much happened, but you did see that Harvey Dent here, he's not Two-Face, but he's slowly getting there every now and then, and he comes across his father's old coin. So now here he is. Love the shot with him, his face half hidden in shadows, flipping this coin, and need to talk to you. And there's Batman, and this is just a very cool shot of Batman standing here. I love the pose. We're gonna bring it up the camera a little bit. I love the pose that he's sitting there, like standing there. It's powerful, it's imposing, but it's standoffish, especially him being in the shadows there. And I love the shadow of his silhouette on the brick wall behind him, plus the background here. It's just very well composed image. Batman, Bruce is kind of pissed off that Harvey Dent went after Bruce Wayne. Jesus. But as Batman, he's trying not to, let that on. He can't let people know they're the same person, but you can tell he's kind of pissed off at Harvey Dent here. But at the same time, while Harvey was suspecting Bruce Wayne of being in leagues with the Falcone crime family, Batman has started to suspect Harvey Dent as being the holiday killer. I think they said it back here on the April Fool's Day issue. Yeah. He kind of thinks that Harvey Dent is the holiday killer. And he's talking about, right here we made a deal, you, me, and JimGordon, to bring Roman down the Roman. And Batman's like, I remember that, do you? And there's just this weird, shot, just very half-assed. Not half-assed at all. Very deliberately done to position his half face in that shot. But Harvey talks about he made a mistake going after Bruce. He's like, well, why did you tell me? He's like, I want you to know I make mistakes, but I try not to make them twice. He's Two-Face, get it? But here, going back into that theme of being independent, having freedom, he talks about Sal Maroni, the other mob boss. going back, the last issue, Sal's father was killed by the holiday killer. He thinks Falcone has something to do with it. And he comes in ready to testify against Falcone. Is it Falcone or Falcone? I think I've been saying it twice. They say it differently in different movies and stuff. I say Falcone. If I say Falcone, it's because of that fucking Batman Begins. But Sal Maroni, if he testifies against Carmine Falcone, the Roman, that's going to be it. The Roman Empire will crumble, and I'll be able to leave, get out of the city for a while. So that's how he thinks he's going to get his freedom or independence. It's like, but what about Holiday? And then off panel, there's JimGordon. He's like, he or she struck again. They very deliberately always say he or she. They're making you think, put that possibility in your mind of whether it could be a man or a woman. And in the back, there's this little scene here of a cat. It's basically Catwoman spying on them. She does that quite a bit. I think you can see her. Where is it? Sorry, where's my... Back here. And there she is there. So Sal Maroni's in jail. And I was noticing like how little detail, I talk about this a lot, Tim Sale puts in backgrounds or very little detail, but always gets the point across. Like, very small panel here of a prison. You get that it's a prison. So we establish it's somewhere else. We're somewhere different. And just, just a guy in bars with no detail back there. Kind of Sin City-esque, right? With Frank Miller and his drawings. Just these bars, weird coloring on them. But here's Sophia, the daughter of Falcone. Kind of a henchwoman. She's kind of the color Sophia Falcone Gigante, because she's kind of a larger woman as opposed to how she was portrayed in the Penguin series. She's kind of an enforcer, kind of a muscular, she'll fucking just murder you with her bare hands. But she came to visit Sal. Rusty's here. He's trying to get in on this business, but my setup, he can't really jump on this small little table. So she's visiting. He's like, does your father know he's here? He's like, and she starts to talk about how she went to prison, but she didn't squawk, didn't ask for anything in return, and didn't name you, Sal. But he says, that's you. I got to do what's right for me. And then she starts talking about how she missed you. She's coming through the bars, and they start kissing there. Like, so apparently they had some kind of a romantic fling, right? And she's all into him. Oh, here comes Rusty. He's trying. Rusty, there's no room for you on this tiny little table. Oh, jeez, but you're going to find a way to make it yourself annoying, aren't you? Oh, my gosh. So, as opposed to my desk or kitchen table that I usually do, I set up this on a TV dinner tray. Okay, Rusty, God, you ruin everything. God. Okay, you gotta go. You gotta go. Love you, buddy. There we go. Anyways. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Sal Marone is getting some mouth pussy. So, she says this thing here. Says, Papa knows it was Dent who got you into this mess. Without Dent, everybody lays off. I know you'll do the right thing, Sal. Now, I don't know if I knew this or if I knew it was coming the first time. I'm not going to spoil things, but in comic lore, Two-Face, Harvey Dent, was created by, became Two-Face because he was in court and got acid splashed in his face. I know that's been a couple of, that's how they did it in Batman Forever, but that's not how they did it in the animated series or The Dark Knight. So I don't know, actually. Can someone tell me what the lore is in Batman, what's canon for comic book Two-Face? But from my understanding, there are several versions where it happens in court. So, I mean, you kind of see where some of this is going, right? Another scene change. Here's Barbara Gordon, not Batgirl. This is Jim Gordon's wife. I don't know if this is Barbara or they have another son. And this is Gilda, Harvey's wife. And they're just talking about... this might go like further digging that point of independence. Yeah, why do you stay in Gotham? Why can't you leave and kind of be free? And it's the work, she says, Jim's work, I guess. And now we're kind of dug in, so she makes a comment digging into hell. So these ladies don't have their freedom. They don't have their independence. Talking about how much she loves Dent until this Roman case, and he's changing. It's eating him from the inside out. Like, do you ever think it will end, Barbara? Will I ever get my Harvey back? And then it has this, ends on the same shot as it started, and there's some baby bottle nipples right here. Now, where are they there? What does this say? The home of Barbara and Police Captain JimGordon. So, what's going on here? So here's where they show the holiday killer always leaves the gun, the bullets, bullet casings, and a memento of the holiday. So here's a Statue of Liberty. And now they're at the crime scene. Jim, Gordon, and Batman are investigating it. Fired twice. So they're putting some hints as who this is. They're leading us to believe it's Two-Face. And again, without spoiling anything, I still was guessing on who the holiday killer is, or you think you know who it is at one point, but they have you guessing until pretty much the last page. Batman makes a point to say that these killings were at close range, so the holiday killer, whoever they are, he or she, again they say, they can always get close, suggesting that the killer knows his or her victims. Gordon says, yeah, but Batman, I've noticed that you can get pretty close without anyone noticing. And Batman here, I mean, there's Catwoman, and she's kind of following them. But then why the coroner, they're asking themselves. Everything else has been like mobsters or something like that. Like, why a civilian? And then Batman's like, can anybody account for the whereabouts of Harvey Dent? And before they can really go into that line of thinking, they notice some more fireworks. And Jim's like, that's weird. Like, the fireworks were set off earlier. Probably some kids, but, I mean, this is a weird shot. Like, you see his eyeball there, but it's not there. Something like, I wonder if I can show an example. Tim Sale or the colorist will often show JimGordon with his glasses on. Like without showing, like drawing any detail in them. They're just like frames almost. Like almost like sunglasses. God damn it, man. Just show me. Where's goddamn, right here, right there, Jesus. You know, just white, without showing any detail on the eyes. Sometimes he'll show the eyes. Here he did a half-ass thing. Not half-ass at all. I don't know if that was a deliberate choice or what's going on there. But anyways, he says probably just some kids, right, Batman? But Batman's gone. He's just gone. We're at the Gotham Bank Depository. There's a couple of guards there. They're looking at the fireworks like, oh, I love fireworks. But then something's coming down on them. Must be toxin or something, or gas. And a firework comes down, explosion. Anyway, they're being attacked. They're being robbed by fucking Scarecrow and Mad Hatter. And they're rhyming back and forth to each other. They're robbing the bank, but in comes the goddamn Batman, kicking some ass. Money stays. You both go back to Arkham. I love these money bags that they're showing. I mean, that face. His scream is funny with those teeth. But just bags of money with a money sign on it, I find kind of funny. Just an old school style. I'm surprised you won't see, if you see inmates in black and white striped uniforms. And here he's talking about, he thought these guys were just, Scarecrow busted out on Father's Day and fucked with Batman's head, and he was being held by Mad Hatter, but them robbing this bank suggests that they're also being held by the Roman. And in the last issue, you did see that those two were being funded by the Roman here. There it is. Those two, and there he is. But Batman comes in, kicking some ass, throws a little tiny battering whatever into Scarecrow's hands so he can't fuck with him with his gas, I guess. And I just love this. Punches him right in the dick. I mean, it might be in the gut or something, but I find punching in the dick is funnier. But just, you can feel the force, like, of him just taking that punch. Mad Hatter brings out a double-barreled fucking shotgun, blows him away. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on there with the colors and everything, but it looks like Batman's jumping out of the way, and in comes crashing Catwoman, right on his goddamn neck, taking him out. It's cool with the horses and everything, but I don't know what Batman's doing. Is he just jumping over the horses, or is he reining them in? Don't know. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you read these things, especially when you're reading it as a book like this, as I was doing, you kind of flip through some of the stuff fast, and you don't take the time to appreciate some of the intricacies. And then you look at it about, like, what's going on here? But fight's over. Batman's like, you've been following me. He noticed. She's like, yeah, I love fire. I like the cat. I like the Cheshire cat. I like that all this money sitting here. So I don't like this version of her costume. She looks more like a mouse than a cat to me. So I'm not a big fan of it. And I like this. I know places, Batman. Things only I could show you. So that's something she says back here. I know places, Bruce. Things we could do. But she's different here. Things only I could show you. Her hand is kind of like messing with his cape. It's like, and Batman, the room orchestrated all of this. Do you want to help? She's like, that's not what I had in mind. She wanted to rub one out on him. She says, your loss. And he says, no, the price of independence. So I'm not 100% sure what they're trying to say there. To help others be free, Batman has to do this. Take on this responsibility, I guess. He can't have the things he wants. Hard to say, but that's the end of this issue. Next issue is a holiday that I'm not going to spoil it here, but it's a different holiday than one I didn't even know was a thing, but we'll get into that. Cool final shot. Taking out Scarecrow, taking out fucking Mad Hatter. This was a fun issue. The last issue was kind of boring. I talked about that last time. At least there's some action. Batman was in it. Some cool stuff happened. Some cool images. And it still progresses the story. So, there we go. Chapter 10. We only have 2 more issues of this. That was chapter 10. 10, 11, 12. No, we have 3 more. July, August. Yeah, we'll have one in August, September. Yeah, there's 3 more. Duh, I forgot about a holiday. August, September, and then another one in October. I can't believe October is going to be here in fucking 3 months almost. Halloween. It seemed like I took my kid out trick-or-treating, and I already got to figure out a new costume for him. So, thank you for watching. I don't get a lot of views on Batman Long Halloween or some of my other stuff, but that's okay. I appreciate anybody who's watching. I appreciate everybody who's leaves comments and leaves the likes. I don't do this as much as I would like to at points. But I'm going to have some time over in the next few weeks that I'm going to have a little bit of more freedom. So I'm going to try and pump out a bunch of stuff that I've been wanting to do for a little while. So again, thank you for everyone who's supporting me. Yeah, hit that like, subscribe button. And as always, I will see you in the next video.